How's it going, everyone? Badger here. And well, we can't have everything be calling out the agenda pushing, the race swapping, the calling, turning on fans. Let's do some fun stuff every once in a while. That's what this is. Star Wars Theory. If you don't know, he's the biggest YouTuber, Star Wars related channel. If not as big, almost bigger, as big as the actual Star Wars channel. I've liked him for the longest time. He's tried. He's tried. He gets attacked no matter what he does. He is a genuine fan. He's like me. He grew up during the prequels. Loves Anakin. Not because Anakin's a murderer or anything, but just because it's a complicated character. He was an important character for Theory when he was younger in his life. Just genuinely loves Star Wars. Finally broken through the lies put on him, and he just says what he wants now. And thank God he does. And the crossover I always wanted but never thought I'd get, him and MauLer. I love how all the people I watch on YouTube, from Ryan from Arc Outpost to MauLer to Nia from Star Wars Theory, all know each other. But Jeremy, of course, Geeks Game, they all know each other and they all come together. And I believe they're doing a show now called Stargrift on Monday. See how long that lasts. Uh, let's talk about they talk about what they would do the sequels. We're going to talk through it, pause, but let's see what they have to say about what they would do for the sequel trilogy of Star Wars if they had been given the chance.
We would be honored if you would join us.
So if you were to write the sequel trilogy, where would you start?
Well, this will be interesting because I don't know how you're going to feel about it. But the one that we've ran a couple of times on EFAB, the goal is that we were going to take Leia to a more hawkish place in terms of her control over the New Republic and the crushing of what remains of the Empire, sort of thing. Try and get it so that she searches out and annihilates. And at first, it would be like big sort of sects that are still planetary based or whatever.
It would be an interesting take. I mean, the Remnant Empire was very much a real thing. I know at the end of Return of the Jedi, you see all the planets, toppling statues of the Empire and people cheering and fireworks and shit like that. But it wasn't that pretty and it wasn't that easy and it wasn't that fast. There were real embedded groups that believed in the Empire, even if they didn't believe in the Emperor. Some of them never fell. They never got back. Some they were always the Remnant Empire until they had to team up and they formed the Galactic Alliance to fight the Yuzang Vong, which comes in from outside of the galaxy. But going after them to the point where like even the New Republic is like, okay, calm down, they're beaten. We can start focusing on rebuilding.
She's wiping them out and fighting wars, and it's a good fight. But as time goes on, she starts crushing people who have no chance,
Right.
And also important to note, she's force sensitive. She should be training with Luke to be a Jedi, even if ultimately she doesn't embrace being a Jedi fully. She does train with him. She does learn how to do it. This is in all versions of Legends and the expanded universe, but it's always extra when a force user of that power is going a little above and beyond. They have an extra responsibility because they could fall into the dark side and turn into a horrible, as we saw, tyrants that cannot be stopped.
Then she starts like maybe wiping out places that you're not even 100% sure they were really going to do anything anyway, but they are Empire or at least Remnant. Luke would probably be already working on building the Jedi back up. I'm not sure where we'd sit on Force Ghost and exactly who's going to.
You'd also have to explain why Leia suddenly became the irrational one, because she was always the level-headed one. I don't really see her. You'd have to, again, you'd have to have like her have a family, and then one of those families be hurt for her to maybe go that crazy.
Be available at what times. That's a difficult one to balance. We not go in the direction of having like Force Ghosts that can actually hurt people. That seems to be that would fuck everything up. And then we were thinking
who would ever introduce that into the canon, because then retroactively everyone would be wondering why the Force Ghost didn't show up to help every other time.
Han would be like keep the role of general, but he would be the one that would pick up first on how they might be going a bit too far. I've always been interested in the is it Yuzang Vong?
Luke is the biggest disrespect, but right behind Luke, like 1A and 1B, is turning Han into a deadbeat dad. You want to kill him off? That's fine. That's fine. Not a fan of how they do it, but I knew he was going to die. But you turned him into a deadbeat dad and a bad father, which is they do. Just no fathers anymore in any of our lore. Yeah, the Yuzang Vong, people complained about them in the expanded universe. They were extra galactic. They couldn't be sensed in the Force. You could use the Force on them. They couldn't be sensed in the Force. Because of their religion and their embrace of pain. In fact, their meditory and torture device called the Embrace of Pain would activate every single pain like nerve ending at once. Hardcore, I know. Basically, they're a bitch to fight though, because if you're used to feeling that much pain, sort of hard to stop you.
I forget
Yeah.
exactly how to pronounce
Oh, and their armor that they're wearing was lightsaber resistant. I think it would even cause lightsabers to short out and turn off.
it. That's
Yeah.
a bigger, more evil force that can come in that binds the remains of the Empire with the Republic. Sounds like a cool storyline to run as well.
Yeah.
But the main thing I want is to desperately try and respect the three mains as best you can while
Please, dear God, if from now on that could be the mandate, if it's a legacy character in a video game, a movie, television show, anything, is this a legacy character that a lot of people like from 20 or 30? Okay, then please, every single thing they do must be treated with respect.
also giving them something to learn and change with, right? Like, I think that they would try and bring Luke back in using the power of the Jedi to sort of, politically gain a foothold, and that he'd have to make a decision whether or not he wants to be used that way.
By the way, this was a huge plot point in the original expanded universe where Luke did look back at he saw what happened and how the Jedi were manipulated into fighting that war, how Palpatine manipulated that, and then blamed everything on the Jedi. And so he takes the Jedi, right, just like we need to do to super PACs and donations. He takes that right out of politics and removes them. He takes the Jedi Temple from Coruscant to the Yavin 4, the same one we saw in Return or A New Hope, Episode 4. He completely separates the Jedi from galactic politics to the point where if someone needs help, they have to petition the Jedi. They're not just on call for the Chancellor to do whatever they want.
Especially with the knowledge that he would gradually, that's the one thing maybe I like from TLJ is that he started to learn about the prequel era.
Yeah, again, not from TLJ. That's the one thing Rian Johnson did steal from the expanded universe on top of some of the other things he ripped off was the fact that, yeah, R2-D2 had a lot of files. Remember, his files were never erased. Only 3PO's memories were erased. R2 he has footage of almost everything that happened on his little Holly. He tells Luke and Leia eventually everything that happened and all the nitty gritty stuff. Yeah, Luke knows what's up. That's why it was so disheartening when they have him not be able to restart the Jedi Order. When it's like, not only did he restart the Jedi Order, he did it better. He lets his Jedi marry. This is because he realizes that love ultimately will save you, not condemn you. And he saw that when he saved his father, that it's attachments and dealing with attachments that you need to teach Jedi, not to try to be free of it, but how to deal with it. Also another lesson for life.
And he's wondering about everything to do with the Jedi, not to become disenfranchised or fucking hobo level and abandon everyone. Just a matter of like, it seems like they did make some mistakes, and that's interesting. How did they make them?
Yeah, I like that.
New Mucinex Kickstart gives all-in-one and done relief with a morning jolt of instant cooling sensation. It's comeback season.
Those go check out Star Wars Theory. He's great, and MauLer. God, anything would have been better. The greatest sin of any franchise forever. Convince me otherwise. In fact, and you tell me in the chat whether you think this is true. The greatest sin, whatever reason that this timeline is wrong, is they did not get Han, Luke, and Leia in a scene together, and they never will. They were in the room together reading in the announcement pictures. We never got Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, and Harrison Ford in a scene together as their characters, which is what we want. Now we never can. Thanks, guys. Thank Lucasfilm kids. All right, everyone. Make sure to check out Star Wars Theory. Make sure to check out MauLer. Both great guys. And please like, subscribe, talk in the comments.